Hi everybody, and welcome to the Weathered Fence Post. I'm Heidi. My husband Steve and I are resellers in the Raleigh, Garner, North Carolina area. We don't sell online, but we do sell in vintage booths in vendor malls. We have two booths, one at Antiques at Gresham Lake in North Raleigh and one at Collected Treasures in Garner. And what we love to do on this channel is to take you out hunting with us for treasures and then go over what we call the haul and take a look at all the pieces we found. Today's video is a haul video, and we're going to go over everything we found when the Thriftateers and I went out thrifting to Paul Mart in Dunn. We went to the Beacon Rescue Mission. We went on a private pick at Pam and Bill's house. So we've got lots of things to go over. I'm not sure I'll get through it all like usual, but we're going to get at it. But before I do, I just want to say, everybody, thank you so much for joining our channel. We have actually hit a milestone on this channel, so yay! We have hit 1,000 subscribers. It's been a journey to get there. It's not something that we were like pressing on. We figured it would happen in its own good time. We just really enjoy sharing with you and going out and hunting and showing you everything that we find. So I just want to thank everybody who has joined our channel. Especially want to give a big heartfelt thank you to Joanne at Bat Thrift Crazy for being a great support person and sending a lot of you our direction. So without any further ado, let's get into the haul. So the first thing I'm going to try to go over are all the items that I picked up at the private pick at Pam and Bill's house. They actually have an Etsy shop. Bill's an artist. I think he's an architect is his background too. It was a great visit. I really enjoyed them. I kind of feel like we made new friends. One of the first pieces I want to show you is this beautiful Fenton vase with this silver crest lining. It is just beautiful with this ruffled edge. Love this piece. Look at the design on it. It's just gorgeous. I can't wait. I say this a lot, but that's how it is with a lot of things I pick up. I can't wait to get them to the booth to help them find a new home. I know there's somebody that's just going to fall in love with this. It's beautiful. Look at this fantastic picture. Is this not gorgeous? With the apple and the leaves. I love the design on this, the handle. What a great shape on that. It's called a Puritan slipware pottery pitcher. There's the bottom. It's in perfect condition. Just love it. Great for the fall. I picked up several pitchers from him. I just love this stoneware. This periwinkle blue, I guess you would call it. It's so pretty and stunning. And it's timeless. This is, again, a timeless piece, a piece that can go in any decor, any time of the year, and it would be beautiful. I definitely wasn't going to pass up another beautiful art glass bulb. I love these. This will go in my personal collection. I have 3 of them now, I believe, 3 or 4. I thought this piece was absolutely fantastic. I love the design. Look at this design on this. It's got a great, I think, I don't know, mid-century modern look. Beautiful lines, nice thick amber glass. A wonderful serving dish for upcoming fall festivities. And here is a beautiful cloisonne vase. It's got the beautiful design on it. All of these pieces were in great condition. You know I'm not going to leave the pottery behind. The prices were right, and I thought this was a great simple piece. Just, again, will go with any decor. It's got a nice rustic look to it. Handmade piece of pottery. And there's the base of it. And then this one is awesome. It has the horsehair in it. This is beautiful. Again, the prices were great. Bill gave us a great deal. Pam and Bill gave us a great deal on everything. So I was very pleased to pick these pieces up. And people do kind of know our booth at this point to have pottery. We do move pottery through our booth, and I think it's because people know they can come to our booth at any given time and they're going to find some pottery in there. He had several ashtrays there, a whole collection of them. I picked out some that I thought were really fantastic. And I haven't had a chance to research and get the correct name on all of these. I'm sure some of the viewers will know what the name of these are. I will take time to do that before I put them in the booth. But some of these are just beautiful. Look at this one. Look at the color on that. Is that not gorgeous? I love it. It's got the, like the, I don't know if you can see it, the raised. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Beautiful ashtray. I'm not a smoker, but it makes you want to smoke, doesn't it? But you can use them as trinket dishes. Look at this one. It's gorgeous. And then here's a green one just like it. I love the design on these. Beautiful pieces. A couple more small pottery pieces. Again, just a simplistic piece. There's the bottom. Has a little mark on it. I love all the crazing on this one. I think it has a really unique look. And then this one I purchased for myself. I have a bud vase, a small bud vase collection started. Not that I need another collection, right? But I do have a bud vase pottery collection started, so I picked this one up. And it is signed, Fred Devlin. Another small pottery piece. This one also is signed, though I'm not sure I can make out the signature on that. Looks like I've got a price on there and need to take off too. But it's a nice little pottery piece. I love the blue on that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's fantastic. And then this serving dish. And this one is marked USA, California pottery. So this is your California USA piece. Again, great rustic color. Perfect for the season coming up. Definitely grabbed this beautiful wall pocket. I believe it's a radish, possibly. I'm not good with the ground vegetables, but it was made in Italy. And there's the mark right there on it. And I just think it's beautiful. It's in good condition for an item made in Italy. A lot of times the pieces made in Italy, I think I've said this before, they have chips on them and whatnot, but this did not. So thought it was in nice condition, and wall pockets usually do pretty good. Another fantastic piece of pottery. There was a lot of pottery there. Maybe he'd been watching my YouTubes and he knows I love pottery and he got out all the pottery. I don't know, but I was happy about it either way. Look at the design on this. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the curly cute handle on it. Just a beautiful little trinket dish. Could be a candle holder. You could put a pillar candle in there. And there's the maker, the potter. It looks like it says that it's Ballina Pottery, Irish handmade stoneware. I thought that was really, really pretty. I definitely wanted to grab these fantastic, beautiful frames. Look at the leaf on that. Oh, they're just gorgeous. A little bit of dust. Don't worry about that. We'll get that all cleaned up before it goes into the booth. But I just think these are so pretty. Here's the back. Definitely gorgeous for somebody's decor. There's another one here. Get that for you. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Put this one down. Nice big frame. Anybody who's an artist, or if you're doing, you know, a wall where you want to just put the frame up and then maybe just frame another piece of artwork inside of it on the wall, like you hang this up and then you hang an already framed piece of artwork on the inside. Or if you're an artist and you're looking for a really beautiful frame, it's fantastic. I love these pieces. It's a little bit heavy, so I'm not going to hold it very long, but if you can see it there, what this is solid brass. Absolutely solid brass. Here is the base of it. Again, it's a little dusty, needs cleaning, but if you look here, I think if you know what it is, you know what it is. This is a fireplace fan. You open these fan out, and it's a fireplace screen or gate. And this is fantastic. No pun intended, just a beautiful, gorgeous piece. So I'll get it all cleaned up. It's gonna need a little bit of WD-40, I believe, to get the fans to fan out, but it was the first piece I picked up when I walked in there. I do believe that is all that we got at Pam and Bill's, and if you're watching, again, thank you so much for inviting us to come over there and letting me bring my friends along, and I just really enjoyed meeting you, and I hope we get to do it again. All right, now let's move on to the haul from, this would be from the Beacon Rescue Mission, so because that's where we went next, so let's see what we got there. And when I was digging out the items that I got at Beacon Rescue Mission, I found one more item that I did pick up from Pam and Bill. It was this beautiful, I think this was Italy. Yes, this is made in Italy also. Look at this. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Great piece. No damage. Made in Italy. Absolutely stunning and beautiful. Nice neutral color that will go in with any decor. So definitely grab that. I think Beacon Rescue Mission is very quickly becoming one of my favorite little spots to go hunt at. I mean, we've only been there twice, to this one in Coates, and both times we came out with great stuff. And one of my favorite things that I found that day, I found there, and it's this awesome vintage Halloween sign. I absolutely love it. I haven't tested it yet to see if he glows. He kind of looks like he might. I don't know yet. Maybe I'll test that tonight. But I just love them. Look at the happy jack-o'-lanterns and the ghosty on there and the happy little bat. And we were looking at the back of it, see how it's yellowed, so we definitely know it has a little bit of age to it. We think that says that it was a Kmart tag, so we're thinking that's where it came from, Kmart. So I love this piece. Anytime you can find vintage Halloween, vintage Christmas, even vintage Easter, it's a good day in the thrifting world. This was a beautiful little pottery piece. I think we got this at Beacon. I think Joanne found this one for me. It has these little notches here, so that leads me to believe that possibly it hangs in something or sits in something. So I could put this in maybe in a macrame piece, but it's a really pretty little pottery piece. Doesn't have any markings on the bottom. Now the last time I went there, you saw me look at these mugs, and I couldn't leave them behind this time. Now the whole set has, the big pitcher had sold, and I think a couple of the mugs have sold, but I picked out these two. I like this one with the deer, and these were made in 1944. Now this one's not marked 44, but this one is. So I mean, they're the same artist and it's the same type of decor, so I'm assuming it was made in 1944. So I couldn't leave them behind. They're really not a set. One's taller than the other, but I just think the content is good on them. I think somebody will really like these. Another fantastic piece that I found that day was this plate. Absolutely love this. This is another one of my favorite finds of the entire day. The color on this, the look of the fish, he's a little whimsical. He's fantastic. It's signed. It says McKinley. I don't know if you can read it there. It says McKinley on it. This was a great find for the price. $2. Beautiful, beautiful piece for $2. I think these were some of the first pieces that I found there, and I always pick up Sirocco pieces. We do have in our booth at, especially at Antiques at Gresham Lake, even at Collected Treasures, people tend to like these, and these are great. They've got all the 70s colors going on. They're in good condition, except for one of them. Another one of those learning moments. I didn't even catch it, and you know what? I think I'm still going to try to sell it because I don't think it's that big of a deal. See here? You can see that the leaf is missing its point here. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm going to mark it a little bit lower than the one that's in good condition without any breakage, but I think they need to go together as a set, and I think whoever purchases these will forgive that little bit of a break. And on vintage things, sometimes you can forgive a chip or a break because it's vintage. If it's something that's new and contemporary, not so much, but something that's vintage, you can forgive a little bit of a damage to it. So we'll be putting these in the booth. I love them. I mean, damage happens, right? I'm from the mid-60s. I got a little damage on me, so damage happens to these items that are from the past. I thought this was really nice. It's just a metal piece, but I just like the look of it. I think it will be really beautiful with any type of decor coming out of it or just on its own. I think it has a really nice look. Try not to blind you with this, but this mirror, we'll be careful of the reflection we got here so we don't blind you, but anytime I can find these dresser mirrors or what do you call these things? I can't remember. There's a name for them, but you put all your toiletries on there, and I always purchase them because I use them in the booth to stage items, and they always sell. And I usually put a price of about $12 to $15 on them in the booth, and I picked this up for $3. And this was one of, I believe, Joanne's favorite finds that I found that day. Look at this. I've never come across this before. This is like a wicker or a basket garland. Is that not fantastic? I mean, if you decorate with boho, your Christmas tree could have this on it. I think this is fantastic. Or even a woodland Christmas tree, this would be great on. And there were 3 of them, so I picked up all 3. I'd say that I haven't measured them yet, but I would say they're about 9 to 10 feet long. I just love them. I've never come across something like this before. So that was a first for me, and anytime I come across something that's unique like that and it fits our kind of vibe, the kind of thing that we like to have in our booth, it's our kind of jam, then we definitely grab it. Now, you know, the whole reason that we went down there to Beacon Thrift or Rescue Mission Thrift was to find the home interiors, the top to those fairy lamps. And I remembered, actually, we got home afterwards and we were talking and going over everything, and I'm like, you know what, I think I have one of those actually downstairs. And sure enough, I have the entire box. It's all boxed up. I even have like the little glass votive that goes inside. It came like this in this little box, and here is the top with the hole. So it is a fairy lamp. Now maybe they did make some that were also candy dishes, but they typically came with this on the top. So I have one that I'm going to definitely get in the booth right away because it's already has the box and everything. I think somebody would really love that. So we'll put that in the booth, but I'm still going to keep the bottoms of the other 2, and maybe someday I'll come across the top by itself. I think it's a good possibility I could. Okay, one thing I want to do before we go on to Paul Mart, which, God, I love Paul. Steve and I used to stop at Paul Mart. We used to have a place down at the coast, and on our way home, instead of driving down the highway where, you know, down 40 where it's just everybody's right on each other's bumper and in a hurry, we would just take the country roads home, and we would always stop at Paul Mart on the way home and visit with him and pick up some great treasures. And we hadn't been there in a long time, so you saw that we went there a couple weeks ago. Well, I wanted to take the girls down there, and I'm so happy Joanne loved it. I think Kelly loved it too. Kelly is so good at meeting new people and getting to know people. She really struck up a great conversation with Paul about his wife, and Joanne loved hunting down there, so we're definitely going to go back there and do some more hunting. But before we get into that, I still stop at the Goodwills, and I did pick up recently this little globe. I thought it was really cool. It was only, can you believe it? Look, $1.49 for this globe, and this is like a metal stand that it's on. A nice little globe. And one of the things, now I'm probably not going to do this too because I just don't have the courage like Michelle does, but I follow somebody named Michelle on Pummel's Vintiquities, and she is so creative. And so if you haven't checked out her channel, I highly recommend you go over there and check it out. She's extremely creative. She will take something like this and she will actually paint like a moon face on here. And I think it's fantastic. I love artwork. I appreciate her art and her way of marrying artwork with vintage items. I just think it's great. So please go over. I'm going to put a link to her channel in my description, and I highly recommend you go check her out. But I don't have the guts to do it, Michelle. I wish I did. I'm probably just going to sell this the way it is. Another item that I picked up at Goodwill was this Clue game. Let's see, this is from, I think, if I remember correctly, it's like 2000. So this is a vintage game actually, and it's never been opened. So I thought that was fantastic. I think Clue, I don't know why the game Clue kind of reminds me of Halloween and spookiness. I don't know if it's because it takes place in a mansion or, you know, and there's a mystery involved and everything. I used to love playing this game. So I'm going to try it out in the booth. Typically we don't do very well with board games in the booth. I know online there's probably a market for it, but in the booth I sometimes have trouble. But I'm going to stage it with our Halloween stuff and see how it does. So you know, on Thursday nights I love to go stop at the Goodwill on my way home from my full-time job. I work in the finance industry. I work for a landscaping company, and it's a fantastic company that I work for. I really enjoy working there. And I work 4 days a week, and I do the financial part of it. And it's just a lot of numbers, a lot of deadlines. You know, it's a lot of in front of the computer and spreadsheets and things like that. If you work in accounting or finance, you know what I'm talking about. So on Thursday nights, I try to transition out of that and just let go of it and transition into my hunting, treasure hunting, and thrifting and reselling mode. And I always stop at a Goodwill and just spend some time. I don't film because it's like me time. Well, I stopped there on Thursday night, and sometimes it seems like I usually do pretty good on those nights. I picked up 40-some vinyl albums the last Thursday night when I stopped. Unbelievable. Steve is downstairs right now listening to Black Sabbath and Santana and Lynyrd Skynyrd, and I mean all these albums. I brought it home. He was so excited because you know he loves vinyl, and especially vintage vinyl. And I brought them in, and he picked out over 20 of them for his own collection. So he was thrilled. And I have the other 20 are going to go into the booths, and they're all good. They're all in good condition. The jackets may not be perfect, the album covers may not be perfect, but the records are actually, the vinyl is actually in really good condition. I picked this one up actually several weeks ago, and the only reason I picked this up, well, first of all, I think it's just really adorable and vintage. It's the little drummer boy. I love the graphics on it. It just reminds me of my childhood. Let's see, I don't even know if it says what year it's from. It probably does, but I don't have my glasses on right now. But one of the things I thought was really cool about this is there's a die cut on this. Look at this. This is a die cut that you can actually break off, and you have this beautiful Christmas die cut. I thought that was definitely worth the pickup. And the last piece I'm going to show you from the Goodwill stop, I'm kind of going off course here a little bit, but hey, that's okay, isn't it? That's half the fun of hunting, right? Going off course. I saw this and I thought, ooh, Polish pottery. It's got to be Polish pottery, right? No, it's not. It's something that's called, I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, Calais, C-A-L-A-I-S, and it is bread and butter, made in the Republic of China. So vintage piece, I would say, because of that. But I thought it was really pretty. So for $4, I thought that was a really good pickup. All right, let's go on to the things that we got at Paul Mart. Okay, Paul Mart. Great place to go hunting. I recommend doing it in the spring or fall. A little bit hard to do it in the summer. I haven't done it in the winter, so I'm not sure. It might be fine in the winter, but the dead of the summer, a little hard, because it can get hot in there. But boy, does he have a huge warehouse full of stuff. Mark off several hours because you're really going to want to take your time and look through everything. The bigger the pile, the better the deal. So take your time, look through everything, and find stuff. I'm going to start right off with this cute little butterfly piece. This is probably from the 70s based on the design of it. Got that speckled glaze on there that I love. It probably was a set of 3, but I still picked it up because I just think it's so adorable. Butterflies do well. One of the first things that I picked up was this flocked deer. I always like to pick up flocked animals. They don't sell for a lot of money. I was trying to determine if he had something on his nose, but I don't think he did. I think this is it. So he'll go well in the Christmas booth. I probably will put some type of, like, you know, maybe a wreath around him or something to dress him up for the holidays. Does have a little bit of flocking hanging right there. I'm going to pull that off right now, but I don't really see any major damage. There's a little bit lost there, but in the important area, there isn't. And he's a nice size. I don't think I've ever come across a flocked piece this big. I picked up this really pretty ginger jar. It has butterflies on it, irises. I'm not sure what type of flower that is. I should know it, but I don't. But it's really pretty. And it does have its lid, and the lid is beautiful, in good condition. So I definitely grabbed that. I thought that was a really pretty piece. And I think this could go in fall decor. It's got some browns in it. And okay, one of the things I definitely wanted, and I think I talked about this in the video. Got quite a glare. There we go. I definitely wanted to pick up some of these pieces. Now, he had a whole bunch of them, and he does have a price on it. So I asked him, you know, are you going to negotiate with me? And he said, well, let's see what else you get, and we'll see what we can do. In the end, I got a great deal on everything, so I was very happy. But I did only just pick up a couple of them because I didn't want to, I don't know. I don't want to be greedy. You know, if he has an opportunity to make that money off someone else at the full price, I want to let him have that opportunity. So I did just only pick up a couple. I really like this. This one was 15. But I didn't pay 15, but I like the size of that one. And these are pretty popular right now, so I definitely wanted to grab those. And I did decide to get this tray. I think I got it at Paul Mart. I've been trying to figure out, did I get this from Paul Mart? Boy, we're getting a lot of glare here, but you know, mushrooms, especially 1970s, made in Japan. I'm gonna get it, but it does look like something was supposed to set on there. But I don't care. I think because of the mushrooms, I think the plate's going to sell on its own. I also picked up this really cool candelabra. It's brass in really nice condition. There's no pitting on it. Perfect for the holidays coming up, whether it be your fall table for your Thanksgiving dinner or your Christmas table, or you can maybe even probably do this for Halloween if you wanted to. But what a great candelabra, and just beautiful in fantastic condition. Each week now when I'm out treasure hunting, I'm going to try to pick up something that's kind of outside of what I would usually pick up to see how it does. I have no idea how something's going to do unless I go out and try it. So this is something I typically would not pick up. So this, I think, would be very pretty in a fall decor vignette. There's the rosettes on it. There's a marking on the bottom. Now he has a big red $6 on there. I'm hoping I can get that off without any issue. But this was a piece, again, I didn't pay $6 because we bundled everything. But this was a piece that I'm going to experiment with and see how it does. I feel like in the right vignette, you know, showing that it can be used in a fall decor, it'll work. I am not an expert by any means. I am always learning. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I just learn every single week. When I go out there, I learn. But I'm going to give you a little tip of something that I do that works for me. Don't know if it'll work for everybody, but something that I do. Whenever I'm in a situation like Paul Mart, where I really wanted those, that Corningware piece. I really wanted those pieces. This is because they really are sought after right now, and they were in good condition, and they had their lids. The lids have no chips on them, which a lot of times the lids have chips. So that was kind of one of my goals when I went down there. Well, what happens is when you know that, you know, you don't want to beat people up on their pricing, but you want to be able to get the best price that you can, because that's where really your profit is made as reseller, is in the purchase, not in the sale. Right, Joanne? We just talked about this. You actually mentioned that. But so what I do is I try to find little things that when I'm bundling stuff that they probably don't care anything about, but I know I can get a few dollars for that will help offset maybe me paying a little bit more for something that I want to. So I found this. I really love this. I love this piece. Look at this lady. And like Lassie in a field. I mean, this is a fantastic piece. I absolutely love it. It is from High Point, North Carolina, so it's relevant to our state, so people will be interested in it. It is a thermometer. I just love it. And I don't think it really fazed him. I threw that in there. Another thing that I picked out, so I went around trying to find little things that I could throw in there that I know I can get a few dollars for. This is a Pampered Chef. What do they call this thing? I always forget what it's called. Cut and serve or something like that. But it makes biscuits. You know, down here in the South, we got to make our biscuits. So it's a Pampered Chef biscuit cutter. So I threw that in there. This little piece, he didn't want much for it. He wanted $3 for it. I know it ended up being hardly anything. I might have got it for free. But it's blue and white. It's a nice little pottery vase. Somebody will want this for a few dollars. And then I also picked up this tall apothecary jar. I'm going to remove this. I don't like it. I'm going to clean it all up. It had a whole bunch of gross, I call it gross, potpourri. Anybody like me, I don't like potpourri. It just seems like it's a dust collector, and I don't know. I don't like potpourri. But anyway, I threw all that out and left it there with him. He only wanted $3 for this, but the apothecary jar is beautiful. So I'm going to clean this all up, and I've got all kinds of things I could put in this for the fall and spice that baby up. The other thing that I picked up were these. A whole bunch of spools, and I specifically picked out ones that were like fall colors. And let me show you what I'm going to do with these. I definitely got inspired from Kim from the Reinspired Home, and I'm going to put a link to her YouTube channel. She will actually show you how to stage your items in your home, how to take these items and actually put them in your home and decorate with them, and she always inspires me. So I'm slowly starting to go through my own collection of items and pick out things, and I look at them and I'm like, okay, do I have an emotional attachment to it? Am I ready to let this go? Have I enjoyed it enough? And this is a bowl. I would say like a dough bowl. It actually looks like the real deal. It's got some burn marks where maybe it sat on a stove. You can tell that it's actually handmade. It's got some beautiful lines in it. I'm okay with letting this go because I have another bowl that's just sitting downstairs. It actually has a more of emotional attachment to me because I picked it up on a trip that I went on. So I have a memory with it. I don't have a memory to this, so I'm okay with letting this go. But what I'm going to do, and this is something that I would see them do, I'm going to go ahead and throw all these in here and just stage it in the booth with these in it. I just think this is really great. North Carolina is known for the textile industry. I think this would be a great decor piece for somebody. Okay, the last place we stopped was Saks Fifth Avenue. And as you can see, I picked up some jack-o'-lantern like garland that light up. This strand is in pretty good condition. So this one lights up. This one, I'm not getting anything to light up on it. So I'm gonna have to play with this one to see if there's just a fuse out in the plug or if it needs a light or what it needs, but I'll play with it. Either way, they're still just adorable to hang up as decor pieces. I really love them. It was about the only thing that I could afford in that store because that store was really expensive. And it was sad because, you know, there were 3 of us. Let me get this over here. There were 3 of us that went into that store, and we all were willing to purchase. We brought money. We were going to buy. Their prices were just, I don't even know what to say. They were very high. They were very high. I picked up a doily. I mean, I think I spent $4 in there. $3 for these lights, which one string doesn't work and one string does, and a doily for $1. Their prices were very high. There was tons of great stuff in there, and they could sell it, I think, if they just came down a little bit on their pricing. That's just my opinion. The last thing that I want to go over here is just something that I'm doing as a reseller. You know, as a thrifter and a reseller, you end up with a lot of extra things that they're just little things that you don't know what to do with. So I have discovered the junk journaling genre. Is that the word? And I'm going to give it a whirl. So I've been and it's actually been kind of fun for me to go through my stash of items, all my crafting things that I'm never going to do anything with, and put together some junk journaling bundles. So this is an example. Like, I have this little girl, and I've got some pins and some buttons, and here's like here's like some broken jewelry pieces that could be used in their journals. Now this one's kind of like more of a bulky bundle. So these would be things maybe you'd put on the outside of your journal. If you don't know what junk journaling is, my understanding, because I'm rather new to it, is that you'll take an old antique book like this, and you'll take out all those pages. You'll cover the book in whatever you want to cover in, and you'll put your own papers in it and lace it up and just design your own journal. And it's supposed to be kind of like a journey as you're going through this journal. It's a discovery. You put little pockets in it with little treasures and things like that. So one bundle I have, this has 40 pieces in it. I've got some clothespins and some little tassels. I do have some antique pictures that would be cool in there. This one says, from the library of, so they could put this like on the inside of their journal. I thought that would be really cute. There's like a little pocket that they could put something in, a little piece that they could add to the page. So I'm trying to make it an interesting little bundle. That has 40 pieces in it, and I've priced it at $12.99. I think that's probably a good price because all those little things, I'm going to try to make the pieces as authentic as I can. Actually have some antique pieces in there for you. Now this one I would say is more of an amphora piece bundle. It's more papers and it has some lace pieces. So like I have some tickets from a game, some lace here. There's a whole bunch in here. Here's a postcard that's handwritten with the stamps on it. There's some pictures in there. There's some paper in there. Here's like a bookmark that would be great for a journal. And here's some beautiful brocade pieces, some lace pieces. They like to put those on the outside on their cover to decorate. Here's some vintage like snaps. There's a key, some stamps, a ticket, and then like some postcards. So, and some antique photos. So this one is also a 40 piece, and I did $12.99 on that also. And then I'm also going to set up like a station where you can pick up antique books and things for, you know, doing your junk journaling. I might do like individual things so you don't have to buy a bundle like that. So I have a whole bunch of antique books that I'm going to put in there that people might want to use. Let me just grab the whole stack. I just went through some of my antique books and I was like, you know what? I'll just put all these in there, and if somebody wants to purchase these, they can use them for their junk journaling. It's that time of year where people like to do, you know, crafts. They start to get crafty, want to be inside and do something creative. So I thought I might try that in the booth. I'll let you know how it goes. I think that's it. I think we've reached the end of our haul. I kind of went off the script a little bit, I guess you would say, and went down different roads. But you know what? That's part of it. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. I hope you're getting out there and doing some treasure hunting, finding yourself a treasure, putting a big old smile on your face when you score something really cool. And I hope you take very good care of yourself until the next time we see each other.